Jesus. I didn't expect to find myself living in the future, but here I fucking well am.
Our main story tonight is government surveillance, and I realise most people would rather have a conversation about literally any other topic.
Good morning. Have you posted the hashtag? Is it real or an urban myth? Well, thousands have been taking part, but how culpable are they? People are dying, and we want to hear your thoughts.
This is not
Line
a
7,
virtual
Leanne.
computer game. This is real. This is happening. I urge you.
It's not the hashtag is we're killing them. That's just a game. Like, if you're an arsehole, you deserve to be shamed.
Steve, line 5.
Yeah, but my point is, someone's got to be top of the list, yeah? So why not make it someone, you know, like, who deserves it, like a racist
Right now
child
with the
killer or
hashtag,
something?
I've seen celebrities, politicians, everyone.
Yeah, but this doesn't mean you have to sit there encouraging people to take part.
The point is, this is already happening, and people know that they can jump on board because nobody will ever know if they did or didn't.
Well, let's just pause for a moment and go back to that top 5. As we have been saying, the Chancellor is at number 1, and I want us to think about that. What does that tell us about the choice of the nation?
Well, I can't say I'm surprised.
Game of consequences. 1. Pick a target.
Oh my God.
2. Post their name and photo with hashtag death2. 3. Most popular target will be eliminated after 5 p.m. each day. 4. Game resets at midnight.
It's 7:15. 3 deaths have now been linked to a hashtag circulating on social media. Controversial journalist Joe Powell.
Bees themselves were virtually extinct, so what our ADIs do is effectively stand in for them. They're solar powered, they don't need nectar, but they pollinate flowers the same way. They crawl inside, pollen sticks to their legs and gets brushed off next flower they visit.
How do they know where the flowers even are? I mean...
Well, they have a sensor, just a basic visual sensor. You see, they need rudimentary pattern recognition in order to locate compatible flora and navigate.
They navigate?
Yes.
You don't, I don't know, steer them?
They're autonomous. That's right, isn't it? They make their own decisions. They look after themselves.
Yes. You see, the ADIs cover the whole of the UK. We couldn't command each one individually ourselves. It's just not logistically possible, no. we simply set the behavior and leave them to it. They even construct these hives themselves.
How do the ADIs know who to target?
Could have found Clara the same way you did, the identity database.
No, that just gives you the basic area. We were in the room too, and they only went for her. Facial recognition. It's got to be facial recognition, which means the feed from their visual sensors, that's been accessed too.
That's not possible.
It's the only explanation. They are spying on us.
This is all classified.
Knowing what you knew, that might have helped us. But no, you kept your little fucking secret, didn't you?
Now look, the visual feed is secure between each ADI and the hive.
There you go.
Although one of the government's conditions for backing the project was that we had to consent to permitting government security services access to the visual feed at times of, quote, increased national security, which is, as I understand it, pretty much all the time. I wasn't happy about it.
Your lot went along with it.
Well, that implies a greater range of options than your lot presented.
Total nationwide surveillance. So, what did you do? Did you put in a backdoor and route it through GCHQ? I mean, you do CCTV, you do traffic cams. So, why don't you have your fucking noses in?
We've tracked suspects for weeks in ways they couldn't dream of. We've prevented bombings, mass shootings.
By spying on the public.
And keeping them safe, which is what they want. Look, millions of those things flying around, propping up the ecosystem. Wow, that's just great. Save the planet, hallelujah. Government's not going to pump billions into it just because some lab coat says so. It grabs 200 green votes. They saw an opportunity to get more, they took it. Run the DA.
Wait, just wait a minute, okay?
Run it.
No!
No, what? No. What? No.
Fuck! No. Shit.
What if those are his real targets? The people on the list? Everyone who took part?
Consequences.
The hate figures with the bait. The players are the target.
A new type of war has emerged, information warfare.
What we're trying to do actually is provide each user a personalized newsfeed that will be the content that's most interesting to that user.
Social media tools are designed to be addictive. The actual desired use case of these tools is that you fragment your attention as much as possible throughout your waking hours. That's how these tools are designed to use.
These companies profit off everything we share. They've stockpiled our data. We are placing an incredible amount of trust in them, but every day we are learning more and more why we shouldn't.
The government blocked Facebook, Instagram, WhatsApp, and Viber, saying that they were instrumental in spreading and amplifying hate speech.
A 32-year-old man has been lynched in southern India by a huge mob incensed by rumors of child kidnapping spread on WhatsApp.
Military personnel in Myanmar used Facebook as a tool for ethnic cleansing.
Well, Google and Facebook are apologizing for amplifying false news stories that surfaced in the hours after the shooting. According to the Chronicle, Google blamed an algorithm for highlighting stories that falsely identified an innocent man as the shooter.
The New York Times reports there is evidence that Twitter may have been used even more extensively than Facebook. On Twitter, you had these bots, these automated accounts that were helping to spread fake news.
Ads were intended to promote divisive messages, and some even included anti-Muslim messages.
Accounts regularly shared content intended to deepen the racial divide and stir up outrage.
Damn. So Facebook has fake news, Google has fake news, Twitter has fake news.
Vote. And when asked to flag and remove content, tech companies always seem to defend their actions the exact same way.
Freedom of expression is one of our core values. YouTube's mission is to give everyone a voice.
From our perspective, the primary focus is that every user has a paramount right to free expression.
Congress wanted to teach them a thing or two, but it turns out they didn't know a thing or one.
How do you sustain a business model in which users don't pay for your service?
Senator, we run ads.
I see.
When it comes to government oversight, tech companies have nothing to fear because this is what they're up against.
I thank you, Mr. Chairman, and thank you for coming before us, Mr. Zuckerman, today.
It's true that Facebook, Twitter, and Google aren't in a great position to be the arbiters of truth, but the government is in an even worse position.
The National Security Agency monitor who Americans were talking to by phone and email. If anyone on the line was suspected of terrorism, the government could listen to the actual phone calls or read the emails. How did the government justify collecting all this data? They argued that fighting terrorism is like finding a needle in a haystack, and you need the entire haystack to find that needle.
If that sounds broad, it's because it was very much written that way.
Which allows the government to require businesses to hand over records of any, quote, any tangible things, including books, records, papers, documents, and other items.
We learned that the government has the capacity to track virtually every American phone call and to scoop up impossibly vast quantities of data across the internet.
Revelations that the NSA eavesdropped on world leaders.
Treating social media as some sort of public utility is quite simply a power grab that all but guarantees politicians and unelected bureaucrats will decide what information should appear in Americans' news feeds, and would likely grant the government even greater access to our private communications than it already has.
There are no easy answers here. We all naturally want perfect privacy and perfect safety, but those two things cannot coexist.
Granting government even the slightest control over the free flow of information on the internet under the guise of fighting falsehoods will ironically make more difficult the task of discovering truth. Some level of fake news, misinformation, and trolling might just be the price we have to pay for free and open discussion.